Welcome back, everybody. We did take a little bit of a short break there as Sheridan ended up forfeiting the match, so we had that little second to get ourselves ready for this next match. We're versus Humber. Last time Fuel fought Humber, they took the win, so we'll see if they can recreate that, as already they're off to the races. Ches looking for some early aggression here. Reeker gonna stop that one mid-air. Ches tries to keep the aggression up, but Cornelius here looking for something as Vidhawk just going to be watching the ball fall towards Scout.
Yeah, no, talked to the players earlier in the break, and they were very, very ready to go against Humber Esports today. They were discussing things that they could improve on the York game, and Humber is also one of those teams where they've played with Jane, but are unsure of how this is going to go. So they're really excited to see how this matchup will be going through. Right now, Fuel Esports 4 minutes just playing absolutely aggressive on Humber Esports. Cornelius and Jane going at it. Jane being the Dennis Rodman of the Fuel Esports team. Basketball reference there.
The Dennis Rodman. Okay,
yes,
I like that one. I like that one.
I love it. Dennis Rodman is just going crazy tonight. I'm going to refer to Jane as that.
No, we're not. Anyways, as far as speaking of the rest of this game, though, nothing really happening so far within this first minute and a half. Vidhawk looking to change that as I speak. Cornelius will catch this one in the corner, but it goes right towards Reeker's front left tire. Now Fuel trying to keep some sort of offensive up, but the boost is just not there. Ches and Reeker, both the offensive players, ran out, so Jane has to be the one behind to try to keep this aggression going. Reeker reboosted up, so looked for something, gets that refuel going. A nice demo. Ches centers it for Jane. It's a shot, not on net, but it's a beautiful pass to Reeker as splash.
Yeah, no, speaking about Reeker, like Reeker has been getting better and better throughout each game. This man just does not give up. This man does not know the word defeat. And he is showing us what he's capable of as one of the top 10 players in this tournament. Top 15 as well in NA, where pro players actually were able to say things about him, compliment him, and it's such a really good ego boost to have Reeker on this team. It's also really, really pressurizing for the other opponents because they're just watching out for this man.
Yeah, it means that, sometimes they get complacent around the rest of the players, right? A lot of the time, whenever teams think about Fuel, they're going to look towards Reeker, and then Ches and Jane will be left kind of alone to be able to do whatever they want. So it's a really, crucial thing. And speaking of Ches doing whatever he wants, just going to cleanly pump that one in right off of a nice pass there from Reeker, playing that assistive role. Beautiful center there as Cornelius just will not be able to get up in time to catch that one as Fuel takes a 2-0 lead into this first game already. 1:30 remain here as another kickoff is going to set tied. Reeker wins that one cleanly, but Scout able to catch that one mid-air, looks for something, but it's going to be dropped down, trying to get past a couple defenders off the backboard. Instead, it's going to go right towards Reeker's tires yet again. Ches looking to backflip here, but Vidhawk kept that pressure up as Humber brings this within one. Cornelius just keeps bouncing this one up and down as Vidhawk is able to loop back around and finish that one off. Well played there from the set of Humber off of a nice kickoff where Scout got that one in deep. So brings that one down to get past one defender and then just keeps it right at the net as Humber does not want to let go any pressure. Cornelius looks for something here, but Jane just that one a little bit late. Scout though will not be able to get too much off of it as Ches Fuel looking to clear this one the best they can. It hits to the side though. Reeker a little bit of trouble here, but Ches gets it past.
Yeah, no, Fuel Esports cannot let up on this game. They are playing aggressive as possible. Reeker obviously being the pressure point, and us seeing that second goal by Ches, Humber Esports was just not prepared. They were way too focused on Reeker, and Ches just comes in and sweeps them that sweet little score.
Exactly that, but that as this game is continuing to go underway, seeing minute and 35 seconds remaining. Cornelius looking for something, but Ches has a bit of a breakaway, drops that one down off a nice flip reset as Reeker finishes it off. A beautiful handoff there from the side of Fuel. This duo that have been together the entire season, really showing up when it matters most. Ches just setting it up right for Reeker to finish that one off the crossbar. Fuel, they're not slowing down. They want to keep this one up, and they're not afraid to show some tricks.
I know, you can see them right now. They are genuinely just going crazy from the get-go. You can genuinely just see how much time and effort Ches and Reeker have gone through to build the way they play together. These two are basically just Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, if I put them into NBA terms. Like, they're just great.
Buddy just calling the car soccer game using NBA terms of all things. You know, there is a game that this is based off of, so you could have used some football.
That is true. Unfortunately, I do like myself some basketball. So
fair enough. As speaking of backboards, right? Cornelius can be up there to stop that one. Jane, though, Chez gets that demo. Jane brings that one up to the corner as Reeker looks to catch this, slows it down to a crawl, tries to bring this one down. It's set up for Chez, but it's blocked beautifully there by the side of Humber. They're not wanting to let Fuel get away with anything anymore. They're playing defense, but they're still letting Fuel get these opportunities. They're playing basically goaltending, but they're not able to stop Fuel before the attack could even start. As another shot there from Reeker on net, but it's not going to hit Mark. Reeker just drives into the net and demos the goalie. Why not, right? Reeker, again, not afraid to get a little bit handsy in these games. Something we're used to seeing. Cornelius catches that one in the air, but now no boost. Vidhawk has to make something happen. Cornelius wanted to finish that one off, but because they didn't have boost, they couldn't control exactly where it went. Scout centers that one up, but it's actually centered for Reeker and Chez. However, Reeker barely misses the goal there, but they don't need to look for a score because they're up by 2 points, and the game one finishes with Fuel taking a 3-1 victory.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that Fuel was very frustrated about that loss earlier against York, and now is just going ham on their teamwork, on their defense. They're working on everything to make sure that they have an impenetrable game. Yeah, no, it's just been an amazing game so far. Both teams showing how they work together. Unfortunately, just Fuel just wanting to win a little bit more than Humber Esports.
Yeah, you know, we'll have to see, right? It's only game one of a series. A lot of things could change. Humber may have been able to understand what Fuel wanted here, but we'll have to see as the second game coming up very, very shortly here. We'll see which team, you know, will take the second game. The second game really dictates the tide of the game.
And we are off on the second game. 5 minutes, obviously just starting. My fault there. Fuel Esports playing aggressive already. They're already onto the side. And Chez looking to score the first goal. Oh my God.
Reeker nicely set up there off the backboard. And this is something, you know, I highlighted it last game, and I'm just going to keep on highlighting it. I'm going to be a bit of a broken record. As well as another one of our Rock League casters, Elson, he loves to say this as well. Backboard defense is so important, so imperative in these types of lobbies. You cannot be affording to let players like Reeker, like Chez, do whatever they want off of the backboard. You have to have someone up there stopping the backboard. It's the key part of the defense of most teams here. You see Fuel, you know, they'll have players up on the backboard very often. Saw York last time, but Humber have not done that themselves so far, which means Fuel takes another early lead. As Fuel keep the aggression going, Chez keeps this one up. However, Scout gets it past one, but Reeker and Jane both in the corner. Reeker going up. Cornelius there to match. Finally, someone's there. Reset for something, and it's finished off by Scout. A beautiful handoff. Humber showing, you know, they're not outclassed when it comes to skill, when it comes to these mechanics. A nice play there from Cornelius. Just set it up beautifully for Scout to finish that one off. Gets it past Jane, as they will be able to keep the game tied up 1-1 with 4 minutes. Only about a minute in so far, so this is still anyone's game. Humber not discouraged, but a kickoff goal could change that right now. Scout, they're there to stop that push before anything starts to cook up from Fuel. Vidhawk looks for something in the air. He's going to run out of boost halfway through.
Yeah, no, you can kind of see here how hungry both of the teams are for victory at this point. Fuel letting up just a tiny inch for Humber to get that 1 point, and saying that, and I get caster cursed again. Chez scoring for Fuel Esports to give them a lead on a 2-1.
Yeah, Chez just getting a nice little flip over Cornelius. Just didn't expect that one to go up. I don't. Very, very classic goal. Not something you'd see a lot in these types of lobbies, but again, said. Early, you know, these later shots, these more less technical shots are often going to go in a lot because of how, you know, they're always preparing for these aerial shots. Jane almost finds a kickoff goal to give Fuel a little bit of an insurance marker, but it will get stopped in the nick of time by Humber as Jane misses the wall play. Scout sets that up for a player, but there's no one there. Humber just are not as synced as they need to be on these attacks. You have one player centering and going aggressive, but the other two are just not there to follow up on a strike. Scout has to run all the way back to their own goal just to get some boost. Jane misses the touch yet again. The attack keeps up for Fuel as Chez gets that one to the corner, bounced it off the wall, but Scout is the one to first touch it. Reeker finds something. It's hit right off, though. Members of Humber. Vidhawk was there to catch that one, as now it's cleared out. Reeker's there yet again. Vidhawk catching it, though, not letting Reeker have any fun in the air, but Chez stops that one on the ground. As again, the boost runs dry for the members of Humber.
Yeah, I know you can definitely see the different playstyles of both of these teams. Cornelius just scoring right as I say that for Humber Esports, tying it up. Fuel cannot afford to get sloppy on those other seconds.
Fuel centers it up beautifully for Humber there, just not able to clear it off the backboard as the player going for the backboard just doesn't have boost. Jane ran out too early, tries to get a little bit of bounce at the backboard, maybe some sort of pinch play there, but instead it just sets up members of Humber and Vidhawk easily for a goal there, as now Fuel is tie game. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remain as they're looking to keep their offense up. Now it's a lot closer of a game, almost hitting that in themselves there, Vidhawk, but it is just a pass. Looking for something as Fuel got to keep this offensive up. Jane not win that touch. Reeker, and now there's no defender here for Fuel as Cornelius has a free net, but just runs out of boost again. It's a story of no boost for the side of Humber, as that means they will not have the speed to be able to contend with Fuel's defense there and not be able to get any sort of power into that shot to get it past anyone. It means the game stays tied 2-2.
Yeah, I know. As you can see on that last play, Jane just comes out of nowhere. 1 minute you think that it's a free goal, and the next second he's just there. He's just an absolute defensive presence on the Fuel Esports team. You can see the way he shines to support both Chez and Reeker, who are usually the superstars of the team. And I say that, and Humber gets a score on us again.
It's off the backboard, right? Again, there's just no player for Fuel up on the backboard, as that means that a beautiful setup there from the side of Vidhawk sets up Scout to get a third goal for the side of Humber. 2 minutes remaining. They take the lead for the first time in this game so far. Fuel, they need to clean up this defense if they want to keep their lead and if they want to take a second game here, or else Humber may be able to sneak a game here or there. They're looking for an own offense, but it's a double center play. Neither player looks for the strike as Chez hits it off the ceiling, tries to set up something. Members of Humber are just there to match it. They're not letting Fuel get away with any of these fancy plays anymore. Vidhawk runs out of boost, so will not be able to keep that aggression up, shoots it towards the net, but it's more of a center play. Now Cornelius tries to clear this one back out of their own center, their own side. Scout bounces that one off the backboard as Vidhawk bounces it in, and again, the backboard is just untouched from the side of Fuel.
I think Humber is just playing to their strength at this point. Humber is definitely taking advantage of the momentum that they've gained and looking at Fuel Esports' downside on this match. It's very, very unfortunate, but I will say that Humber has been playing really, really aggressive and really great during the time they've been playing. Fuel did take that early lead, but now Humber is just returning the favor, and they are telling Fuel that we are here to stay. You are not eliminating us.
Yeah, trying to make this series as close as possible, as another shot off the backboard there, and Scout there to center it. Instead of hitting the ball there, though, unfortunately Vidhawk hits the player, so it's just gonna be a demo, no shot. But that one's dropped in, and again, I'm gonna be a broken record, right? I have to highlight it. All of these plays have been basically somewhat off the backboard. Now there, Reeker messes up the clear just that little bit, doesn't have the speed needed. So it means that it's set up beautifully for Cornelius. But the 2 goals prior to that, both off of the backboard, because Fuel just are not protecting it enough. And again, you cannot be letting players who know how to do these double taps so easily, who know how to play these aerial shots. You cannot be letting them have this backboard, as they're always going to be there to follow up on some sort of a centering play. Vidhawk, it's that corner. He tries to touch that one into the net. It does not find it. Fuel, they have to find a goal here and now if they want any hope of this game, as they're down by 3. They'd have to find one here and then find a kickoff goal, then maybe there's a chance. But if they don't find one now, it's going to be a very, very tall task here for Fuel, because they're now basically in the time where they have to find only kickoff goals. Jane looks for something, but it's slowed to a crawl there right in front of the net of Humber, as he just keeps losing these 50s. He's going the way of Humber as they set it up. Scout looks for something, and a look to try to just keep that one to the ground, as now it's tie game 1-1.
Yeah, I know, very unfortunate loss there for Fuel. As you can see from the very first start, we were very much in control of the game. Unfortunately, Humber Esports decided to lock in and just start doing those backboard shots, and it's just very crazy how they always play that. Very unfortunate that our team just couldn't defend the backboard strat.
Yeah, Fuel just got a little, I don't want to say complacent, but it's hard to really, put it to words otherwise. Felt like after they got that lead, they just kind of started playing with their food. They didn't need to play, they thought they didn't need to play as lockdown defense as they were. They didn't need to be playing to, cover these plays because of how early and how easily they found these attacks, they found these goals. But that means that Humber found their opening. They found a chance to strike, and they took it flying with a 5-2 win there. Now we'll have to see how Game 3 is going to play out.
Yeah, no, Fuel Esports definitely needs to lock in for the next game. They cannot afford to keep losing like this. They need to secure the momentum and stay on it. They cannot play sloppy. And speaking of which, we are on to game 3, I believe, of this wonderful game against Humber Esports. And we are looking at, we're already looking at some aggressive plays coming in from every single player on the team. It's just a crazy rally going around. And Reeker trying to get the ball off to their side.
Scout clears that one out, grabs it off of Reeker's car, but Chez gets this one out, and now Reeker has a little bit of a lead, but he misses the ball. Goes for a fake, there's no one behind him, as Scout centering up to try to touch this one, but Vidhawk gets the first. It's centered up beautifully there, but instead, Fuel the first to capitalize on that. Reeker now out of boost here inside of Humber, so Fuel going to be down a defender here, and Vidhawk is there to capitalize at that exact moment as Humber takes the first goal of this game.
Yeah, no, Vidhawk is just going crazy at this point. You cannot let this man get momentum on the game because he is just going crazy. Now, everyone at Fuel needs to watch out for the way he plays because he's just going to be a big pressure into the team, giving them early points. Fuel really needs to lock in and focus on defending the best they can.
And we'll see how this ends up going as that early goal goes the way of Humber. Humber taking that momentum from that second game. And this third game is a really important one for both teams because this means you're on match point, right? You don't have to be, you just need that one win. But the team that loses this, they're on their very last life. It's hard to come back from that. It's not impossible though. We've seen it happen before. In order for that, we're still well into this third game, and there's still anyone's game. It's only a 1-goal game, but so far this has been Humber's show. These last two, as they try to keep it up. Scout looks again to try to center this one. You'll need to get it out of their own side.
Yeah, again, you guys can just see Humber is just playing aggressive, not letting Reeker or Chez take anything from them. They really are just here to stay, and they do not want us to win at all. Reeker is trying to find an angle here to get the point, but just doesn't. Now we're hoping that it goes to their side, and Reeker comes in, and this is very unfortunate there.
Very here, but here now Vidhawk looks for something, a pass off to Scout, who tries to keep the offensive going. Humber don't want to let up. Jane trying to stop something here. Cornelius bounces that one off of the corner shot, but it's just going to go right to the other side. A center there. Chez is there to block it, clears it out with a nice flip. Get some speed on that ball. KPH important here when you're playing, try to clear. Cornelius gets past one though, as the demo comes in from the side of Reeker to save players. The goal comes in from Scout. Humber takes a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, I know. I believe that they're basically just playing our playbook on us, where we start focusing on one player and the rest just come sneaking in to get those points. We already saw Vidhawk was one of the biggest scorers for this game, and now just Scout coming in from the shadows to give them the 2-point lead.
Yeah, Scout, definitely been showing up in both of these games. Was more of a supportive player in the last one, but still, this game's been Humber so far. Fuel, they need to find something on the board if they don't want to go down their very last life here. It'd be a rough exit, especially after how dominant game 2 started, right? They started 2-0 up. Cornelius, nice little spin there. Get a touch off, and that's a beautiful shot from Cornelius. Just angling that one exactly how they need, and Fuel just not there to stop that play. Dan and Reeker neither ready to match it. Beautiful shot right off of the post as Humber take a 3-0 lead with 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, no, very unfortunate there to see that kind of goal happening. Jane usually on those types of goals, but just not happening today. And I say that as Chez scores 1 for the board.
That's what Fuel needs. They need these kickoff goals. Kickoff goals are something that can always happen, and it doesn't matter how good you are. You can always fall victim to a kickoff goal. Fuel open up, get their first here, as now it's just a 2-point game. It's a lot more doable all of a sudden as you have that one and you have momentum, just that little bit. Cornelius looking to change that, tries to get something going. Chez matches up here. Jane has full boost in the back as Reeker brings that one down, but it's just hit by Vidhawk. Jane centers that one up. Reeker off of the post. Chez will not be able to catch it, and it's going straight into the net of Fuel. A horror there from the side of Fuel, and that's a heartbreaker as this is entirely an own goal. Chez just not there to catch it in time as Reeker's bounce off the backboard goes straight into the net.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that Fuel Esports scoring that one goal will finally give them the momentum that they need to finally catch up to Humber Esports, but that little mistake just cost them that 1 point, a very, very important point that could have at least given them an edge. And coming in, Cornelius scored for Humber Esports. Fuel really needs to change their strategy here. They need to think of something to change the way these guys are playing. They need to change the momentum. They need to do something to win side of the game.
Humber just heated up, and it feels like they are not close to cooling down. They're over 1,000 degrees right now. Just keeps climbing. They're reaching dangerous levels, surface of the sun levels almost, as Jane trying to keep Fuel in this one, but with 1 minute and 30 seconds left and you're staring down a 4-goal deficit, it's not going to be easy. Now Fuel can do it. It's the level of skill in this lobby has the ability to do that, as Scout going to be able to stop that bounce shot easily. Chez looks for something. It's just a pass over to Reeker. Jane needs to strike this one. Instead flies into the goal as Scout goes up, but it's going to be stopped there by Chez. Plays defense on this wall. They're playing up there. Fuel, they need to get something going now, and it needs to be quick. There's 1 minute left, and Vidhawk back on the offensive. Jane clears that one out, though, as Fuel 4-point deficit. It's dangerous. Cornelius not going to let that one in anytime soon. Chez goes up. It's off of the wall, as instead Scout is there to meet him.
Yeah, just looking at this game, it's just becoming a very intense rally. Most of the pressure coming to Fuel Esports, having being 4 points behind on Humber Esports. Reeker, Jane, and Chez need to really lock in here and focus on how they defend and score goals efficiently. I believe that during these games, simplicity has just been key. Flashy plays have been working, but it's the simple shots that really make up the win or lose scenario in this game.
And that shot just barely does not go in there. It was honestly a centimeter away from being in the goal. Instead, Fuel with 7 seconds remaining. It is virtually impossible to clutch this one out. I don't even think I could possibly cast or curse this for Humber to take game 3 here. Keeping the ball up, but Cornelius hits it down. A 5-1 victory for the side of Humber. And Fuel, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. They have to find some sort of answer, or else their OCC run could end before they really want it to, right? They do not want to go out 0-2. They want, I guess technically this is 1-2, but still, they want to keep themselves alive. They want to keep this series going. They want this season to not end on a sour note, but Humber look to end theirs on a strong one as they take this lead.
Yeah, no, I think Fuel Esports just really needs to reset. I think that they need to come together, talk about strategy, talk about how they want to proceed with these matches, because now it's just a very crucial time for Fuel with Humber taking a 2-1 lead. It's very, very unfortunate, but we don't want the series to end here. So Fuel really needs to start thinking of another strategy to just counter Humber in general. They've been playing excellent defense at the very start. They've been going at it with them for a goal-to-goal, point-to-point, but it's just not there. It's just not enough.
It's not there right now. They do have to figure out what the problem is, right? I think obviously backboard defense is a big one, but also they're just letting Humber's just allowed to do whatever they want. Fuel not stopping anything, and they're not starting their own plays. Their own plays are not centering correctly. See, we're heading into game 4 shortly here. We'll see which team ends up taking. If Humber can clean this one up with a 3-1 victory, or Fuel can bring us to game 5, game 4 starting now. Seeing Fuel looking for something off of the bat. Reeker pushing it, but it's just going to go to the corner.
Yeah, no, hopefully we'll see something different here on different places strategy. Chez just coming in from the side to come in, and Reeker coming in for that defense to stop the goal. And oh my god, it is just getting closer and closer. Humber Esports does not want to let up, they just don't want to let up. They want to keep this victory at hand.
They do, but now, they're keeping Fuel trying to match that aggression. Vidhawk barely missed that one, but then Fuel barely missed one of their own. Crossbars, the size of the goal, just playing that extra level of defense that both teams seem to need right now. So now Fuel are going to play this one a little bit slower in their own side, but you can't really afford to let the side of Humber take any play in your own side, or else Vidhawk will capitalize immediately off of a nice all play here, right off the backboard. How would you look at that? That's another backboard play.
Just another backboard play. There's just nothing that, well, I'm pretty sure there is something that they could do with that. It's just very unfortunate they can't defend.
That one is really hard because the player who's going to go up there ended up getting demoed, right?
Yeah.
So they play really well off there. Speaking of a demo, here's another one. As Scout gets past one defender, but will not get past Reeker. Fuel trying to stop this offensive. But again, a backboard there. Cornelius sets it up beautifully for a player, but the member, Vidhawk, hits that one straight up instead of towards the goal. Scout gets past one, though, as Reeker has to catch that, and they narrowly avoid disaster there from the side of Fuel. Feels like that should have been a goal, but Vidhawk just did not get the touch he wanted. Reeker looked for something that's hit straight down. Ches now centers it up as they're looking for something. Jane, the next player to strike it, and brings that one towards the post, but it misses the goal. Ches goes up, but Vidhawk is there on the backboard. Exactly what they need to be doing in Fuel's shots. They're just going a little bit too high, a little bit too wide. They're not aimed how they want them to be. Ches finds his tap off of the wall, try to center it up, try to clear it out. The backboard player for Fuel clears that one. Finally, as Reeker gets some sort of advantage here, he's looking for anything. The members of Humber are there, and they're ready to stop these plays. 50 goes neither way, but the end, Scout's going to end up winning that one out. Jane has to stop this, but a nice flip there from Scout. Gets it past Jane. Reeker clears it out. 51 by Cornelius.
Yeah, Humber's defense has just been absolutely phenomenal this game. Cornelius and Vidhawk obviously becoming the stars of the show, with Scout just coming in as one of those men in the shadows. It's very unfortunate, but Fuel really needs to regroup here and try to maintain composure while they're trying to play against this team. Because right now they are being outmatched, and it shows.
You will need to get one. If they can get one on the board, there's a chance, but at the rate, you're not going to win a game if you cannot score. Fuel, they need to change that here and now. Jane narrowly missing the ball, just slightly misjudging that touch that he wanted. Ches is up. Reeker catches that, but it bounces off of the other player. 50 goes his way, but it's not the way he wanted it to. Ches clears this one towards the corner as he goes up to try to bring this one further in, but Scout sets that one right in its place, brings it right back into the side of Fuel. Cornelius gets a bump onto Jane, and they need to get this one out of their side. Fuel, they cannot be affording to give Humber this much space. Pinch off of the wall, brings it towards Scout as Vidhawk flexing those mechanics just that little bit. As now, Fuel, they're looking to try to start something. But again, it still has just been in their side for most of this game, as we'll not find that. As Reeker goes up on the wall, looks for some sort of a touch. They need a player to finish this off, but they both miss it just by an inch, by a hair. Fuel will not be able to find those, and those are the plays that they needed. Reeker set it up beautifully. Another light touch here, set up in the middle. Cornelius bounces it off of the corner. Fuel feels like they might be a little bit panicked. They do not. They need one goal to calm themselves down, to bring it within reaching distance and grasp in their range. Again, it just bounces off of their own goal as Cornelius tries to keep the offensive up. Reeker has a breakaway, though, and that's what they needed. Fuel finally stop that play. That round was running for so long, they needed a second to breathe, and that Reeker gives them that at that exact moment. Gets the game tied up 1-1 with a minute left.
Yeah, Reeker just showing us that he is also just getting ready. Maybe the other parts of the game was just him trying to warm up, or him trying to figure out his strategy against this game. But Reeker has been playing very, very passive, actually, compared to now, and he's just trying to show that he, besides being an offensive demon, can also play defense. So right now, I believe that he needs to focus on communicating with the team on trying to stop these backward shots from Humber Esports.
Off the backboard play, and Ches brings Fuel a lead. First time since, feels like ages, right? It feels like forever. But here, Ches just gets a beautiful shot, uses Cornelius to push through the goal as they bring themselves a lead with 40 seconds remaining. Fuel, momentum may be going towards their side. Cornelius Has not been able to find it, but Vidhawk gets a breakaway off of the kickoff. But Reeker knows to make sure to play defense. Fuel, they don't have to score. They just need to not let Humber, as Scout sets that one up for the side of Vidhawk, but they will not be there to catch it in time. Cornelius looks for something. It's just the corner. Fuel, they don't want it in their own end, and that's exactly what they look to do as Ches clears it out. Reeker gets it past another, as now it's actually centered off the own backboard of Humber, but no member of Fuel is there to catch it. Reeker in a 1 versus 3 here, and he goes up and gets another touch. 10 seconds remaining as Fuel, they just want to bring this one to the ground as soon as humanly possible to bring this to game 5, as that's exactly what they're looking to do, as Ches is going to go up to get that touch. Scout keeps it in the air. Jane does not find the touch he wants either, as Scout looks to try to get something going, but no member of Humber is there to catch it, as Fuel bring this to 5. And exactly what we said, right? They just needed that moment to breathe. That last inning, they were starting to slip. They were starting to play a little bit sloppy here and there, right? They were not aiming correctly. They were not finding the right distance of shots, the right distance of their car. But as soon as Reeker finds that one, the momentum goes right back towards them, and Ches clears that up and gives themselves that lead with that second goal and brings us to a game 5.
Yeah, Reeker definitely showing us a lot of that clutch moment of his to get us the score, to get us that win. Unfortunately, though, I still think that it's going to be a very, very close game because I could feel it all the way here that it was a very intense rally, you know. Fuel Esports and Humber Esports just going at it with each other. Speaking of which, starting onto the game now.
There's tension. There's so much tension in the air between these two teams. It is so unbelievably close. Both teams almost evenly matched. Now, Humber has been scoring more than Fuel, but Fuel has been able to play defense on these last couple rounds. If it keeps going that way, when you come to a game 5, scoring's where it's all matters.
Ooh.
A ground shot almost goes in, but it does get stopped there just in time by member of Humber. Cornelius there to stop it. Reeker, 50 goes his way as he has second touch. Cornelius wins his own. Jane goes up. Here's that one out, but Scout is there to catch it. Ches alone here, but he gets it past one. Vidhawk, though, around. Reeker does not find that touch, but Vidhawk driving not the way he wants. Jane gets it over one, and it's centered up. It's a beautiful save there. Instead, that was a shot on goal, but inside of the own net is the member of Humber to stop that one. But Reeker off of the backboard will be able to bring Fuel a lead in this game 5.
Yeah, no, I think that point was definitely a very important point for Fuel. Helps them gain momentum, helps them think and become more confident with each other in the way that they play it together. It's just a very important point that I'm very glad that they got, because otherwise they would still have this really big tension about playing. I'm pretty sure these teams are already very fatigued from their very first game.
They must be. They're all fatigued after they had a game. Humber actually ended up playing 2, right? Fuel only played the 1 because of that forfeit. The Fuel coming in a little bit, maybe less warm, maybe a bit cooler, but they also have that extra rest, which may end up coming out as it's a battle of attrition here at this point, and Fuel winning it. So far, these last 3, they have Vidhawk ties it up. It was, I was going to mention how Fuel have gotten the last 3 goals in a row, and instead Vidhawk there to stop it, basically off of a solo play. Centers it up for himself. Reeker bounces it off the backboard, bounces it off himself as Vidhawk finishes that one off. 3 minutes and 40 seconds remain. It's a tie game, and it's still anyone's game, anyone's series, and it's dead even.
Yeah, no, Vidhawk just playing beautifully there, trying to scoring a goal for Humber Esports. Very, very unfortunate. But now, Fuel Esports used to worry about this man doing all the work for his team offensively. We can see Cornelius and Scout trying to help out their team over here, and another shot by Scout to bring Humber Esports to 2-1 against Fuel.
Humber take the lead yet again as it's just bumped away, and Scout gets past 2 defenders as Reeker goes to catch boost. Thrusts Ches. Scout gets it past as now Fuel back on the deficit, back on, it's all on them. They have to make a play happen. And if it's a kickoff goal, it would be a horrible, horrible tale here. And that's exactly what Scout does as Vidhawk gets past the kickoff. Scout finishes it off of a backboard here. Just off of a ceiling play, rather. Reeker not able to catch it in time. Now, Fuel, they have 2-point deficit because of a kickoff goal. Can still have a chance. There's still 3 minutes in this game. There's a lot more Rocket League to be played, as Fuel need to get the next one, though, for sure.
Yeah, no, that point was definitely crushing for Fuel for Scout to get that 1 point. We can see that Humber is just taking all the advantages of Fuel's weaknesses at this point. They're trying to keep them, they're not letting them up. They're not letting them have that sigh of relief, that breath of fresh air to think that they're going to be even. They're always keeping them at their toes, keeping them in the state of panic for Humber Esports to just take advantage of it.
Fuel trying to mount some sort of an offensive. Chez has to clear that one out. It gets a second touch, but it does not. Just slows it down. Reeker centers it up, but instead Cornelius is the one to be there. Reeker looks for something. Jane trying to finish this off, but there is not a third player of Fuel there in time. This is going towards the goal. That's a fourth goal for the side of Humber, and that's a rough one. Fuel, they send all three members here to try to make this attack work. As soon as one player gets past it, straight into the net. The ball as Vidhawk scores their second of the game. It feels like Fuel, they've had a lot of attack opportunities, but they're not netting in goals. Humber, when they find these attacks, when they find these openings, it's almost guaranteed to go in. Same situation as what happened with York last series. Fuel, they're now staring a 3-point deficit with just 2 minutes left, or else they're out of this tournament. Both teams playing for their lives, but Humber playing a little bit more as of now.
Yeah, no, Fuel Esports, the pressure is just on them right now to try to win this match. Being down 3 against Humber Esports, just making these little mistakes that shouldn't really happen, but they just do because of the intense moment of the game. Reeker, Chez, and Jane just trying their best to try and come up with new strategies to beat Humber Esports, but unfortunately, none of them is working, and Humber Esports is just taking advantage of Fuel's weakness at a certain point. Now we see Cornelius. Oh, a demo happening. My favorite, a demo.
This attack for Humber has just not stopped. It does not cease as Humber continues to breathe down the necks of Fuel. They don't need to play defense if they just keep up the offense here. They have the 3-point luxury. Fuel are the ones that have to make a play happen. Jane tries to center it up, but Reeker is not there in time, and Chez does not want to play too risky, because if a player gets past him, it's going to go in. And speaking of that, spoken into existence, Cornelius gets it past the defense of Fuel as they're forced to play hyper-offensive here, and gets the 5th, and brings us to a 4-point lead for Humber with just a minute remaining. Fuel, they're on death's door, and it feels like there's very little life left. They need to find something here and now.
They definitely do need a miracle shot. It's just very, very, very hard to come back from this. I do still believe in them, but belief can only take you so far. The Scout going through, putting the ball back onto Fuel's side, and it's just very unfortunate to see what is happening right now. Fuel is being pushed and back into a corner, and there is just nothing that they can do about it.
They just can't find any sort of offensive. They cannot find what they need to do, as the members of Humber are just there at every single opportunity Fuel looks to do. Cornelius just playing beautiful goalie, but Chez finds one, and it all of a sudden may be doable. It's a 3-point game with 30 seconds. It's improbable, but nothing is impossible here, as 30 seconds, goal each 10 seconds would do it. As a kickoff goal is pretty much required here for the side of Fuel. They want any hope. Instead, the kickoff goes the way of Humber.
Yeah, no, very unfortunate, but I still think that Fuel can definitely recover from this if they do lock in and plan their strategies correctly. Cornelius just putting it back onto their side, which is very, very sad. We have another demo happening, 10 seconds, and I think this just goes to Humber Esports. Very, very unfortunate.
There is little to no hope here left for Fuel. They have to keep this one in the air. They do just that. But Scout's going to be the first one to get to it. And actually,
Reeker goes crazy with that last one.
So technically this isn't over, because I believe kickoffs don't count as time, but it is. No, it is over. That's actually mine. I lied. They do not count as time. Members of Fuel will leave the match. All teams will leave the match as it will end. Fuel bringing the deficit instead of 4 to just that 2-point deficit, but they are still going to fall in the end to Humber in a 3-2 loss, as they will bow out of this fall major of OCC.
Yeah, no, that was a really, really intense series, genuinely. I think York and Humber brought out their best. They brought their A game. Fuel was definitely trying to I think Fuel was trying to play both of their games. We did not have the pace. We did not have the control of the environment. It was just us playing on their time. knowing what happened in this game, it's just very unfortunate that that we were taken advantage of. A lot of those shots that were made were backboard shots. Am I correct with that term?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the shots, not in so much in the last game, but in those earlier games that Humber ended up taking away, a lot of the goals ended up being off of the fact that Fuel just did not have anyone towards the backboard. But in that last game, it really just felt like Humber never let go of the gas pedal. Their attacks just kept on rolling, and Fuel, their attacks just never really found their true mark. We'll see. I mean, Fuel, unfortunately, again, going to fall 3-2. It's a rough one, right, for sure. They definitely wanted that one. I know going into it, they felt Humber was very winnable. They felt, because they had beat Humber twice before recently, right? In CEN, I believe. They ended up double eliminating Humber. But we'll see if we can chat with one of the players to get an insight onto the end of their season, as this is the final time we'll be seeing Rocket League. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with that. Well, that was a short break. With that being said, unfortunately, we will not be getting an interview with one of the players of Fuel there. It's a rough loss. It's the end of their season. They just kind of want to get home. But that is Fuel Rocket League done, and I believe that's the rest of Fuel finished for this semester. I don't know if we have any more streams coming up. So, I mean, I think we might as well sign off. I've been Newt. This has been Kara, and make sure you're following our socials, Fanshawe Fuel, everywhere, so you're kept up to date with our next semester, as far as trials will be coming out fairly shortly, as well as, we'll have a lot of more streams coming up. We do still have some events coming up in the rest of this semester, but, I mean, make sure you're following Fuel, as we want to see you in our next semester, and we'll see you there.
It's 2 a.m. in the club and I've been thinking lately about the night that you left and told me that you hate me. But then man, I seen you kissing at that place we always drinking. Is the reason that I'm singing.